Here is the product bulletin for the 2022 M240i. I happen to have a pre-production showcase model here that has been in our store for 3 days. If you want to see the full walk around of that, I will leave the link in the description below. You can check it out here as well, or just check my other videos on my YouTube channel. I have tons of content for this car, including a quick silent walk around, an in-depth detailed walk around, as well as a video on all the M performance parts that you can get for the M240. But in this video, we're going to talk about the product bulletin that BMW has released, highlighting the differences from the last 2020 or F22 model new to the G42 model. It's going to highlight everything, all the equipment like the added LSD, the extra horsepower of the B58 engine, everything you need to know. Also, this vehicle has a launch release date of November 20th, 2021. So you will be able to take delivery of a BMW M240i for November 20th, 2021. Now, I do want to just say before we hop into the product bulletin, if you do enjoy BMW content, make sure you absolutely subscribe to the channel for more BMW future news, giveaways, and walk around. Don't forget to drop a like on this video, as it does help me grow on the YouTube platform. Now, if you are looking to get in on this car for November 20th, you will want to be taking the launch edition, or what we call HEA specs, HEA. In the product bulletin, I'm going to highlight what the HEA specs are and how it all breaks down, so that you can see what options are available if you want to take a delivery of one of these for launch day. If you are placing a factory order to your exact specs, I will have the link down below for the Canadian ordering guide if you're interested in that. If you're in the Toronto marketplace and you're interested in this car, absolutely just send me an email and I can help you out, get through all the accurate quotes, accurate numbers, lease pricing, all of that information, if that's what you're looking to do for the vehicle. But yeah, so you will be able to take delivery of a HEA spec for November 20th or place your factory order. We're not sure what our allocations look like, how many we're going to get, so if you are interested in getting it as soon as possible, make sure you get your order in as soon as possible. All right, let's hop into the product bulletin and I'll walk you guys through all that information.
Okay, this is the first slide for the product bulletin. BMW loves to give us a lot of photos for it. Now, on the lower part of this slide, we're going to actually get some useful information. Now, at any point, feel free to pause as you're going through this if you want to read all the bulletins that BMW does, and I'm just going to highlight the important information that I see. The main thing to note is we only have one model range for the G42 platform. It's going to be the M240 xDrive. Previously on the F22 we had a 230 rear-wheel drive xDrive and an M240 rear-wheel drive and an xDrive. Now we only have one variant with the all-wheel drive M240. The next interesting detail is started production is August 2021. Found it very interesting on the Beamer post how it said started production started in September, but everything that I've been told internally says it started in August. And the retail launch date for the first time it's been told to us for November 20th, 2021. So on the next page of the product bulletin, BMW is giving us some highlights. So the new coupe is 87 millimeters longer, 64 millimeters wider, 4 millimeters shorter than the previous generation. It's also fitted with the M Sport differential in the rear as standard, and 19-inch wheels are standard over last year's 18-inch wheel. iDrive 7 is now available on the new G42 platform, as well as head-up display is making its debut, which is an optional feature. They also note the engine increase in power to 382 and 360 foot-pounds of torque. And the lower half of this slide just gives us a few bit more detailed photos of the vehicle. Alright, now we get into the good stuff. We get equipment changes between last generation and this generation. There is a price increase of over $4,000, but you do get a lot more options as standard. There's no more leatherette, but we now have SenseTech. Remote engine start is standard. 19-inch wheels are standard versus the 18s, like I said before. That M Sport differential, you now have adaptive M suspension is no longer standard, it is now an optional feature compared to last year. But you do have standard auto-dimming steering mirrors, high gloss black trim, standard ambient lighting, front and rear proximity sensors, high beam assistant, connected drive services. That is also going to include Apple CarPlay and Android Auto for the first time. The lower half of this page also goes on to say that there's rear cross traffic alert, blind spot warning, rear collision prevention, and speed limit info is all standard on the new G42 M240i. On the next slide, we get the technical specification changes. So it tells you that it is now 87 millimeters wider or longer. It's wider, the track width, the height. Just feel free to pause this and review all of the nitty-gritty details on the M240i technical specs. I just have to say this is one of my favorite launch photos of that M240 getting sideways like every BMW should. The next slide just talks about some exterior highlights, how the headlights are designed from 2002 models, how the adaptive LEDs look ahead with the navigation system, and the new performance grille actually has 10 different opening stages. So it's not just open and close like on the other grills, it actually has a variance for how much air it needs to pull in, and it's going to open up in 10 different stages, which I find is really cool, especially once they're fully open, they look like a normal kidney grill, so I love that. And the second half of this slide is just going to continue on and talk about the tail lights. So next we're going to talk about some equipment highlights. The ambient lighting is now a standard feature. I gotta say, when I saw the pre-production model, I thought the ambient light was kind of slacking. And then they tell you have 6 different colors to choose from, which is kind of slacking compared to other 8 BMWs. And then in the photo it shows you a red color, or is that supposed to be orange or bronze, because there's no red color actually available inside the car. So it's very interesting that there's basically a red color in the highlighted photos. I do like the design of the stock ambient lighting in the door panel. It is unique compared to any other series of BMW, so I do appreciate that. And then you have the optional M highlighters illuminated, which I love the fact that you can get the M colors on the inside of the door panel. I spec that out on my custom order, but after seeing the pre-production model, I hope that there is brighter ambient lighting behind them, because they look like they're just painted onto the door and they're actually like they're there 24/7. It would be better if they lit up when you started the car, and when the car's on, it turns off, so that it's pure lights, but it looks like it's just painted onto the door panel. So hopefully we see it a little different in the actual production models versus the pre-production I saw in my other videos. Alright, on the lower side of this page, we have the M technology package and M240 exclusive 893M style wheels. Now this M technology package is going to have a bigger front brake disc system, as well as an extra coil system, basically meant for the track. When you get the M technology package, it's also part of the M Sport Pro package, which does include those black wheels, the high gloss black exterior content, and the M seatbelts on the inside. Now, an interesting thing is when you get this option, you do get little lips on the fenders that you can see in the photo there. I'm not 100% sure if this is stuck only on the 893M wheels or if it's with the package, because you can get other wheels which are also going to be 255 in the rear, but when you're on BMW.ca configure, it doesn't show they get the lips. Maybe those wheel options don't have the same offset that the 893 wheels do, and they don't require the extra lips because they don't stick out as far. It's going to be very interesting to see once the actual production models come in. Okay, so next slide gives you a little bit of details on the headlights. So the adaptive headlights are above the normal LED headlights. They're also going to have the adaptive headlight function, so automatic high beams, and the cornering light. And then they also have the integrated daytime running light in the gold trim and the inlay, which I find is like what makes the adaptive headlights look so good, is that gold that's in there. Now, if you do go with the shadowline headlight, it does darken out all of the chrome and the gold inlay. So me personally, I'm just going to stick with the normal adaptive LED headlights, and I'm not going to opt in for the optional shadowline headlights. The lower part of this page shows you what the headlights look like. You can see on the far left the normal ones, the adaptive on the middle, and the shadowline adaptive on the far right, where the gold and the chrome has been eliminated from the center of the headlight. Okay, on to the next page of the product bulletin. Now we're getting exciting. So whenever BMW comes out with a new model, they're always going to build the cars in a HEA spec, which is going to be basically like a launch edition. So now we're breaking down what our HEA specs are, what we expect to see. So the car is launching November 20th, but customer orders don't begin until November production. So they've been building since August, September, October, all of these launch editions or HEA spec packages. So customers who don't want to place an order, they just want to buy the car for November 20th, you're going to have your choice of picking from these HEA spec packages. Now let's break down what the HEA spec packages are. It looks like they're a combination of essential with a couple enhanced items like the head-up display, as well as some individual things like the Live Copper Professional, the wireless charging, the Wi-Fi hotspot. Now you have two of them. HEA spec 1 is going to be for cerium gray trim. HEA spec 2 is going to be the Shadowline one. So on top of that normal, all the standard equipment, you're also going to be getting the jet black wheels and the high glossy black exterior content compared to the cerium gray options. Now on the second page, we also get a breakdown for some standalone equipment. So you could have HEA 1 and you could have HEA 2, and some of them might have some additional equipment, so like metallic paint. So there's only 3 paint options. So you have Alpine White, Brooklyn Gray, and Black Sapphire, and you have Vernasca Leather, $1,500. You can either have black Sandstech on the inside, the black Vernasca with blue contrast stitching, or the red, Decora red Vernasca leather interior. Those are going to range and depend on how the factory decide to build. The dealerships will not have a choice of how they're built. BMW builds them and then just tells the dealership, hey, this is what we're going to give you for launch. Some of them might also have adaptive suspension. Some of them might have red brakes. You might have aluminum trim. You might have adaptive LED headlights. And you might have Harman Kardon. It's really a roll of the dice of whatever BMW is going to give us. So make sure you check in with your local dealership to see what their allocations are. At the point of making this video, I don't have that information of what we're going to have for November 20th, but feel free to send me an email down below if you're interested, and I'll keep you on the mailing list for when we get that information. And moving on to the final slide that we have, they're just kind of recapping what the production looks like, when the normal ones start, and the retail launch date of November 20th.
Alright, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you appreciated that content. If you did, smash that like button, drop a subscribe down on my channel, as it does help me grow on the YouTube platform. If you want to win some free BMW merch, then you gotta be subscribed to my channel. Thank you guys so much. Don't forget, if you're in the Toronto marketplace and you know anybody who's interested in purchasing a BMW, or you yourself are interested in purchasing a BMW, make sure you reach out to me. I have an email down below. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you next time.